Hi and welcome. So tonight we're going to try a short sculpting tutorial on how to make one of these cobblestone bases. Just pick this up here. This is a practice one I did a couple of days ago. Tools for this are fairly simple. We're going to need all the Greenstuff. You'll need some sort of sculpting tool. I use one of these, blade on one end and kind of roundy spatula-y thing on the other. And a round pencil stolen from my kids, a base or two, and that should do it. So the first step in this is mix your green stuff together to make a fairly consistent putty. Try and get the same green throughout, any lumps and stuff, to try and pull them out. And then we need a chunk, probably about the size of a couple of peas. We're going to take a base and I'm going to stick it on top. Just start spreading it out a little bit with your thumbs. Try and get it a little evenly. There we go. Then we're going to take a pencil and a little bit of water. And we're going to roll this out a little bit and just try and get it nice and easily in. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, it just has to be relatively level. I'll give me one moment. Almost there with that bit. There we go, that should do it. So I'm going to take my sculpting tool and just clean this up a little bit all around the edge. It should give me an idea of how deep I've gone over the lip of the base. And you can just see there's a little bit of lump. This green stuff unfortunately is a little old, so try not to buy and use old green stuff if you've got it. Get some newer stuff. If you want to keep your green stuff for longer, apparently it's recommended you keep it in the freezer, and that keeps it fresher for longer. There we go. It's a bit cleaner. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of smooth this out a little bit. Spread it out everywhere I can and try and get rid of those wrinkles. There we go, that's looking pretty good now. So it's important that you keep the blade edge of your sculpting tool fairly wet. I'm just going to keep dipping it in water back here. And I'm just going to clean this up a little bit more. This is quite a little bit of a lip on it, but it'll be fine. There we go. Obviously it depends on the type of sculpting we want to do, but I want to keep these fairly level. So first thing I do is normally plan my first slab. I'm going to just kind of put one in broadly there, try and get your lines quite parallel like that. And this is going to be a bit of a kind of non-linear stone course, just kind of hodgepodged across, so we'll just start drawing some lines out. Don't have to be perfectly neat. The one thing to note is all of your stones should kind of join. Try not to join two stones at the same place. Just make them all a little bit random, like this. We'll have this one come across here, back over there. We'll draw that over here. Let's have a look. There we go. And not so happy with that one. That'll do. There we go. So a fairly random stone course. Next job is just to deepen these lines a little bit. Try and keep nice and straight. Make sure we're happy with them all. There we go. Straight down. That's looking pretty good. I'll just tidy that one up a bit. There and here. Here doesn't have to be perfect yet. We're going to clean this up as we go. This is just to get all the kind of key shapes in. And I've just noticed there's a line in the middle that I drew earlier, so I'll just drop that one back in as well. So there we are, that's the kind of key basics out. I then flip over to this spoony kind of end. Again, keep it nice and wet, and I just start pressing in, get a bit of texture on them, get rid of some of those wrinkles, just all over. Just move your tool around back and forward, just start giving it a little bit of texture. This is pretty quick. I've done probably 10-15 of these in the last week, basing some models up for a skirmish game we play called Carnivale. Occurs in the streets of Venice, so kind of nice flagged pathways, really suitable for the game. And then I flip over to the other side, and then just do the same, just start dabbing some texture into it, and that'll start giving you some things to pick up the paint and the washes we're going to put on when we paint the figures later. Keep going across there, like that. That's absolute basics. Whilst that would probably do, it'll pick up the paint, it'll paint it well. We're going to add a bit more texture to it. So again, using the flat end of the tool, just start working into some of these. We're going to create a few little lines across them, like that. And we'll do one on this side, just push it in a little bit and around like that. And one there. There we go. And we'll just work into it. I found that actually when you do these, it doesn't really matter how rough you are. A little bit of roughness is going to be very nice. Sorry for that, one of my kids just wandered in. To chat to me, so I'll get back to this. So as I was saying, let's just work into a few of these. We've worked on 2 over here. We'll kind of work on this one as well. Because these aren't neat stone courses, I want to keep it fairly random, so I'll try and keep the patterns on random stones. We're going to just then tidy up these lines coming across where we've pushed it out a little bit. Clean that bit up there. As obviously as we push down as we push down on these here, the putty will push out to the sideways and sometimes fill the cracks that we've carved between. And then again, I'm just going to round off some of these, clean it up a little bit, try and square off some of these edges. And then I think we'll probably do a cracked tile or 2 as well. It's a really simple technique. I found it gives really good effects once you've sprayed up, giving it a kind of brown wash, maybe a bit of green in there if you're playing somewhere that's a little bit wet, like Streets of Venice. Just throw some colours in it. It can be really, really neat. Now to do a cracked stone, okay, we're going to try and sculpt a cracked tile in. So like this tile down here, I'm going to put a little bit of a cracked tile. So we'll pick one of the tiles. This one here looks like a good one, and we'll just start with a bit of a nice non-linear line, make it curve back and forward a little bit. Make it look like something's jumped on it, it's cracked over time, whatever. Often a tile won't just crack in a corner, it'll crack in multiple places, so we'll put a crack over this way as well. So after jabbing it a few times, we'll just try and deepen these without making too much of a mess of the areas around it. And there again. And here. Like this. And then we'll just widen it a little bit at the edge here. Like that. And again, back to the rounded end, we'll just try and square off those edges a little bit because it normally stays a little bit sharp. See, that's coming quite nicely. Not overly happy with that bit. That'll probably do. It'll be fine when it's painted. I say these sort of things, we're not sculpting models, we're not sculpting really detailed faces, so we can be a little rough and ready with them. We've got a cracked tile there. I think as well we'll probably just chip a few edges and corners, so we'll just drop a little line in every now and again. Give your dry brushing and your inking a little bit to pick up on. Some of these over here are a bit dull, so maybe we'll crack one of these as well. There. And we'll take the crack down there. In fact, I'll just do that like that. It doesn't have to always crack all the way across. You can just crack it part of the way if you wish. Just say you can. Essentially, I'm just stabbing in very gently, just pushing the putty down. Keep your knife blade, sculpting tool blade, nice and damp. You'll start to feel a little bit of pull on the putty if you're dragging it around too hard and it's too dry. that should do there. We'll put another crack in there, just push the edge down a little bit, make a bit of a V shape. There we go, like that. Sharpen the edges up just by pushing the putty back out a little bit. There we go. Looks nice. There we go. I think that's probably enough. Sorry for the glare. If I put it down here, you can kind of see that. There we go. That's a good shot. So not too much glare on it. That's the easy base. So that is a kind of random stone base. Fairly quick, probably 5-10 minutes of sculpting time. You can knock out quite a few of these quite quickly. We're going to do another one in a minute, which is I'm going to try and do a pattern in. So I'm going to pop this to one side and let it dry.